There we are. Hello, hello. We had some things turned off. It's been a little bit. Haven't been streaming in a minute. So welcome back. Oh yeah, you can see my background. Let's fix that. NVIDIA. Good old NVIDIA broadcast. Oh, it's not popping up. Where are you hiding? Ah, let's do virtual background remove. There we go. I think the lighting's well enough. So yeah, just figured I'd hop on a stream tonight and do some dev work. We've been doing a move into the new office studio. So our game studio has been moving from one place to another. It's been taking a lot of time and energy. So we are finally getting settled, but still playing catch up on all the work that was kind of paused while we moved. So it's been a busy week and very tired, but games must go on, and so we must continue. We have some new raccoon stream avatars. I don't know if I'm going to put them in tonight because we have so much to work on, and I think I would rather focus probably on that. Okay, so let's talk about what we are going to be working on today. The last time we talked, I don't remember what we were working on because it's been a minute. But some changes have happened. I think we might have been working on the new UI system where we're getting basically like alert level raising as you play, which isn't visible here because we have to go to play mode. But working on that. What we need to work on now is just basically a lot more iteration on the game flow. So here's an interesting idea that we are trying. So now all the players input their movements at the same time, and then after everyone's input their movement, then we see all those movements play out in sequence. So there's a few things that we need to do. We have the basically what I just described working, but let me pull up. I have like a little to-do list that I'm going to drop into a little notepad here. Hold on a second. Copy it over from Slack. I always like use Slack to like Slack myself things because it's like I know it's always going to be there. It's like cloud notepad. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so here is our to-do list. So yeah, right now you don't know whose turn it is. You don't know the order at all. So you choose your class and your movement, but you don't really have any context of like whose turn it is. While this is, I think, important, I don't think it's the most impactful thing that we could work on. So we're gonna wait on that. Making it so you can't change characters. I think we've gone back and forth on this. I think we want to go back to selecting a class at the beginning of the game, and then that is just your character for the game. So for that, we do need a character select screen, and I have maybe some shortcuts to make this happen. I don't think we need to make a whole separate environment or world right now. I think we could just kind of throw something over the level to convince you that you're in a different scene. But there's still some game flow stuff that would need to happen there. So yeah, so that needs to happen. And then, yeah, you need to launch a single raccoon over and over. That's the big one. So up until now, you are flooding this house with raccoons, and which is kind of fun. But we had a question when someone playtested today, like, "Hey, what do the other raccoons that are in the house do?" Like, well, nothing. They don't do anything. They have no purpose. Before you could kind of get them all stuck, and then you could release them, and that was kind of fun, but that caused its own problems. So I think what we're gonna do is is try this idea. Now, this means a few things. So this means no more gravity. Right now, one of our key features was that, like, hey, gravity goes in multiple directions, and isn't that interesting? And so far, the consensus is, oh, it does? Not really. And so, not that anyone's directly said that, but like, it doesn't come up as like an innovative, like, oh, that's interesting, like this is cool. And it just adds maybe confusion. Like, why is my raccoon kind of moving in that way? It's like, well, because there's gravity, and they move. It's just maybe it's confusing. And it also means that we need to make slingshot force decay slower. So I think what we might do is like technically leave on, I don't know, I was gonna say leave on gravity, but then just like turn it off sooner, but I don't think so. I think we'll find a way to make the force keep going for longer. So instead of being just an impulse, maybe it's going over time. Oh, let my dog in. He was by the door and he seemed sad. But I was wrong because then he never came in, so he didn't care. So yeah, so we need to make this slingshot decay slower. We need to remove spawning every round. We need to I'm just thinking through this. We need to relaunch the same raccoon. So launched raccoons need to accept new inputs. And then we need to, the thing I'm just realizing I'm a little stuck on is like rotation. So I think we need to allow you to 360 rotate the angle. So make launch angle 360 degrees. Okay. It's so weird. I've been getting these. So we've done like Fortnite development a while back, and for some reason I've been getting all these like random Fortnite calibration emails that I swear we stopped getting a long time ago, and now they're all like coming back. It's kind of odd. Okay. So yeah, so this is probably not everything that we're going to need to change. But let's focus on this chunk here because that's going to make the game feel very different. Instead of launching a new raccoon at a spawn point, basically the spawn points now just become your entry point. And from there, you just kind of do your thing. It makes the initial entry kind of not super important. I mean, it is where you start, but not super critical. Okay. So, we have, yeah, no more gravity. So let's just start on the list. Let's turn off gravity and see how the force itself can start to feel okay and get the distance right. Might be a good place to start. I will join you. I will see and join your Pedro dance. All right, so let's go into our raccoon prefab. Oh, that is not how you find a prefab. All right, here we go. There's our guy. And I really want to get back to this like shard concept soon because I'm into it, but one thing at a time. Let's focus on the big changes. So big change here, we are going to be removing constant gravity. And I think maybe for the sake of, actually before I do any changes, let's branch because this might just not be fun. And then we can at least go back to something easily. At first hear shark concept, and now I'm hoping you add in shark cosmetic. I think it'd be really fun to give them like lots of cute cosmetics and stuff. I almost put in some new stream avatar raccoons at the beginning of the stream, but I think it'd probably take like 30 minutes and I'll probably be tired and then go to bed after that. So I think so I'm doing dev stuff instead. But next stream, we should have at least new avatars, some props like flashlights and stuff. Okay, let's branch off of our... Let's branch off this one instead of dev, because dev, who knows where it's at this point. It is a wild west of branches here. Okay, so speedboat is what we are in folder wise, and we're going to call this one mini golf, because that is, we're shifting, we're trying, well, we may not stay here. We're attempting a shift where instead of Plinko, it's more like mini golf, where we're launching these guys around the map, but they aren't continually starting from the same place. Which we at one point had in an early prototype, but it just didn't feel great. And then I think I was saying to Ian on our team today that it's like how music can have a million different songs, all based off of like, you know, the 12 tone scale. It's just because like the subtle differences in combination make a difference. And with game design, it's the same thing. It's like that idea didn't work in that context, but now after changing a million tiny things, now I think it might work. So yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're branched. Okay, now I can start doing destructive things. Raccoons need to lose their gravity. Well, technically gravity will still exist, but we're going to remove this constant force. And I think it'll be quicker to literally, so we don't have a bunch of weird null refs. I think it'll be quicker to actually just comment out where we add the constant force. So like it'll still technically be there. Let me get my code window set up. I think, is it this window? Yeah. I think this is the first time I've been coding on a stream in a while. I feel like the last few I've been more level design stuff. Feels good to be back in the scripts, in the streets. Okay, so anywhere where we say constant force, you know, here's a trick that I like to do. Whenever I rip something out, instead of trying to find all the references, which you can like search for, I like to just delete its declaration, and then I just get a bunch of errors, and then it points me to where to look. So we don't care about this anymore. So now we can see all of these beautiful errors where we are just going to comment it out every time it talks about this constant force. It's as if it never existed. And I know I can like do search and replace, but this is what my brain wants me to do. Oh, we're about to say, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, like, even though there's like things that are like, same with like putting brakes and stuff, I just like, I know there's some things that are like the right way to do it, but I've just built up these habits that just they're like comfort food. There's a safe place for me. Cool. Constant force is no more. Now it might be referenced somewhere else, and Unity Inspector will yell at us if that's the case. Let's let it compile, and then we'll clear out any warnings. Cool. Nope, that was it. So, okay, so now what will happen, this will be interesting to see. Yeah, exit prefab mode. I'm going to launch the raccoon. It will have some force, but then we will see how far it goes. My hunch is it's going to be not nearly far enough, but I could be wrong. That transition I love. It doesn't work in starting from a different scene, so I have to look into that. But yeah, okay. So right now all the characters are together in one spot. Oh, that was accidental but amazing. It just spread all the characters out. Hell yeah. Let's make this bigger. Okay, I'm gonna hit spacebar. It should launch them all. Minigame. I didn't want a minigame. That's right. I need a hotkey to like instant fail or instant succeed on these. But honestly, assuming the constant force isn't working, I might not need to mess with the force at all, because if it's going to be mini golf, like we need to be able to launch it not too far, because like you're not trying to cross the map most of the time. You're trying to get into rooms and through things. So I think seeing them go more than like a few pegs deep actually pretty good. Oh, okay. Let's try launching again. Oh my god! What? Why is there so many? Uh, oh man, this is good. That was actually insane and fun at the same time. I'm kind of scared to do it again because I know my system is like not liking so many and it's freaking out, but I also want to see it happen again. Oh my gosh, look at this. Look at this. Okay. Ah! This is just chaos. Okay, we're gonna stop. We're gonna stop this madness. But that was fun. I've now found the true game is just shoot 100 raccoons. I don't know to what purpose, but it was the most fun thing yet. Okay, but I think what has happened is like we have the debug player count as 8, and I'm just gonna change it to 1. Where is that at? Else, did I save a layout for streaming? Streaming layout. Okay. Oh, it threw my game scene way up there. Cool. Yeah, I'm trying to like get better about leaving my window larger so it's more interesting to look at. I'm a little slower navigating, but I can live with that. What was I doing though? Oh yeah, changing the quantity of players in my debug environment. So it should be under my logic, and we should have game settings. Where are you, game settings? All right, that's one downside of keeping these separate. Total players in game 6. Let's just say 1. I just want to see. I want to see if that is in fact what made it so many people, so many raccoons. Okay, and then if I hit change, okay, cool. Now I just have the 1, and we can see I'm jumping spots. And then if I hit space bar, he will launch. That's not terrible. I mean, I think if they hit a spotlight, I should turn on the constant force though. Because the idea is like they get scared and they should run away. But only so far. So maybe it's not a constant force. Maybe it's more of an impulse that the moment they touch the light, they shoot away from it because they're scared. But that I can come back to that. Let's launch in like a different direction. You know, it really doesn't feel that bad. It's, dare I say, kind of fun. Let's try going to 4. Let's do 3. Let's like pretend I'm trying to get through somewhere. I'm gonna try to get to entry C. So I'm gonna angle my launch. I don't think I'll be able to get through all these pegs properly, but so that is one downside is you do ricochet properly, but you know, we were thinking if we remove the constant force, the pegs can maybe go away and we can just have objects that you ricochet off of. Oh, this guy's just crawling. Buddy, you gotta stop someday. Okay. We'll just watch you fall into the abyss. Okay. I'm liking this though. This is encouraging. Let's go that way. You feel like you have way more control. Okay, but this is shooting a new raccoon every time. Yes, I was able to aim directly in there. Okay. Well, great. We already finished. No, he's fine. He went into their sewer base like the turtles. Yeah, I don't know. He's somewhere. I'm also excited we brought back internally the idea that maybe it's not just raccoons, that maybe they're a possum. And rats and pigeons and different animals. And so instead of just different color raccoons for different skills, that you actually have different crew members that are all trashy animals. So I'm excited for that. So we've started modeling. I think possum is what Zach is starting with, because it's pretty similar to the raccoon, so it's kind of an easy lift relative. So yeah, a lot of good learnings today, which I think inspired me to get on a stream despite the sleepiness, because I'm excited to work on this. Okay, well, excited that force went well. It's always great when things just work better than you expect. Okay, so no more gravity. Done. We do need to add a task though. This is a fun thing that you like finish something and then you have to add another one. Lights need to add impulse force away. So we'll have to go back to that. Right now, lights will basically do nothing, so that's fine. We don't need to make the slingshot decay slower. I like it. I kind of like the way it is. We may want to add. This would be like a nice to have. Like, let players choose the amount of force they launch with. Because right now it's just like a preset. So it's hard to play mini golf when you can only choose angle and you can't choose how hard you hit it. Okay, what's next? Remove spawning every round. We can do that. That should be pretty easy. Let's go back to our code. When you did the Pedro command, did your Pedro dance, Rosenvine? I always like notice the text afterward. I assume because mine works, yours works too, but. What the heck? Maybe it's set so like only the stream owner works? Yeah, what the heck? Okay, well, that's good to know. I will look into Stream Avatar and see if there's like some weird permission thing that prevents the Pedro dance. I think the new characters that were made don't have the dance either. But now that I've realized we're gonna do like maybe non-raccoons, I'm probably gonna have to like re-engage with the artist and be like, hey, we need more pixel art. And I guess they would do a different dance, because like a possum should not Pedro dance. Okay. What was I doing? This like is the worst thing. I do this when I build stuff too, like with tools. I'm like, where did I put that hammer? And I'm like that with code too. We were removing the gravity, which we did, and then now we're removing spawning. That's what we're doing. So in our game state, we have this command, this function called spawn a needed player. And it used to spawn one particular player, and then we did this kind of hacky thing to basically quickly test the idea that like, well, what if like all players spawn at once and then you sequentially launch and yada yada. But anyway, so this one command actually spawns in all players, and it only needs to happen at the beginning. So let's do. So it happens on opening video finished. Cool, that's important. But then it also happens every time we finish a round. Let's not do that anymore. Problem solved. The other thing we need to do, because what'll happen is now we can't do anything else. We'll be controlling no raccoon, is the little trick that I did to make old raccoons not be like recontrolled was just a simple flag. So we can just not flip that flag. It's called raccoon has launched. I'm debating about doing what I did before and just removing it, but I think I'm unsure if I want to do that. Look, because we even have like a destroy. I don't want to destroy the raccoon. Yeah, I'm just going to try just removing the concept of, Well, no, that's a bad idea. There could be some stuff that we need. So we're going to just go through one by one. All right, so let's just start here. Changing the player skill class. We're not going to let them do that anyway, but just to keep one problem at a time, let's do that. I just destroy them emotionally. They're physically fine. I just yell at them until they decide not to steal anymore. I think I low-key want things like badgers and otters because I loved Redwall growing up as a kid. Like that was like one of my favorite books, and so it'd be cool to like go into that, which is probably why I got back into Magic because Bloomborough is very Redwall-esque. Trying tea instead of energy drinks at night, and so far it's I feel like it's where I've never been a smoker, but when people who smoke say like, oh, if I, chew gum instead or something, like basically just replace the habit of it. So like I'm replacing the habit of just drinking something, and it actually is working pretty well. But I do have a tea bag that is like over steeping. One sec. It was getting real bitter. Okay. Uh, bu- 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 yeah, I could do a teapot. I drink like 1 cup tops, so I don't. It feels like I would just waste the whole pot. Maybe I'll eventually become a more thorough drinker of the tea. It's sort of similar to beer. I feel like if I'm out drinking like socially, I'll drink a full beer. But if I'm ever like at home and I'm like, I kind of feel like a beer, I'll drink half of it, and then I'm like, this tastes gross now. Tea is kind of similar, or maybe I just have like bad taste in tea, and I need to like find better, fancier teas. Okay, getting rid of raccoon launch. Hopefully, you're not like me, where you have like 5 cans on your desk at the end of the day, and you're like, wow, I consumed way too much caffeine and waste. I feel like bad throwing out like lots of stuff at the end of the day. I'm like, wow, I'm really like my own personal landfill. Okay, so this one is moving to a new spawn point, which also we won't really ever be doing. But again, we will just get rid of the raccoon as launched where it's okay to do so. Set delay entry, this is deprecated, whatever. What else do we got? Raccoon is launched. So this one is interesting. So this removes the arrow when you shoot them, which is actually kind of desirable. To like if you haven't yet launched them, we set that to active. So maybe I'll leave this flag and I'll flip it back when the turn starts, just simply for this launch angle. I might do that. So here we go. This raccoon is, if they haven't launched, we don't do anything. This is where it's going to start getting a little bit tricky. Okay. In the update loop, because we need it to sit still, but now that it's not using force, I don't know if we need it to really know about if it's launched yet or not. We have this concept of a dead raccoon, which I think the terminology we might have to change. Hello, welcome. I like your username. It's fun. Prod fishy. It's like production. Fishy production. Yeah, I'm really torn on if we might need to rename these now, or I think I'm gonna get like super confused. Nice. Making music is good times. I used to make music once upon a time, and then I got obsessed with code and sold everything but one guitar that sits in a corner and collects dust. But I have dreams of building a music studio again someday when my games hopefully do well. Okay, we're gonna rename this. The concept of a dead raccoon is really more. Also, there's a theme. Rosenvine, you're gonna keep telling me I'm killing raccoons. I can't call it dead raccoon anymore. It is a. It's like a. It's when the raccoon stops moving, not when it's dead, but like he's ran his extent and he's like, I'm resting. My turn is over. It's how we determine if their turn's over, based on the velocity. So we will say inactive raccoon. We'll call it that. Exhausted raccoon. Actually, I love the flag being called exhausted. I'm gonna do that just because that's funny. I think I spelled exhausted. Oh, I missed the H. I love exhausted. That's hilarious. We need like an over encumbered flag where they like pick up stuff and then they go slower. Okay, so exhausted is our new flag. So if they are not exhausted, then we are, what are we doing here? We are getting a velocity. Oh, we're tracking their velocity. That's what we're doing here. And basically, if they go slow enough, then we say, hey, it's time for, we've decided you're exhausted. You are now exhausted. Okay, so we can leave all of this. So if you're not yet exhausted, you become exhausted once you go slow enough. Cool. Okay, and then if they haven't launched, we don't check for exhausted, which is true. So like if it's when all the turns end, this needs to be set to false, and then we don't, because they're going to be sitting still. So it'll basically give us a false positive. It'll say they're exhausted, but really they're just waiting to go. Okay, keep removing raccoon has launched because we don't need this in some places. Debug player launch. We don't care about that there. Skipped turn. Yeah, we're not. I don't even know if this is ever going to be useful. I'm going to remove it just to be safe because I don't want to be confused by some weird bug. I'd rather just, yeah, I don't think we skip turns. I think if you hit the escape key is what does that. Don't really need that. What else we got? We got launch player. Okay, here we go. This is like the main one that we needed to get rid of. I like to just do this in case something breaks. I can like see what was working before. But yeah, now when we say, hey, launch the player, we are not gonna, we are gonna like allow you to grab quote old raccoons or exhausted raccoons, old and exhausted raccoons. Cool. That looks good. Do we have any more? Launch angle updated. Again, we will allow you to update the launch angle of your raccoon that has the correct player ID. That's all we care about now. Okay, here we're setting raccoon has launched to true. Okay, I'm cool with that. That is a good spot for it to be true. We need to figure out where it's going to be set to false. It is public, so we might need to search outside of the scope of this script. Just find all references. Oh, that's weird. I thought if you hit right click, it would do that, but I can just do entire solution. That's fine. Maybe it's like F12. I don't know. There's some key that I thought would print out all the references below. That's that. That's that. Boom, 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 boom. We're looking for setting raccoon has launched to false. Here we go. Okay, so in what script are we in? Player spawner. That isn't the best place to be because we are only going to spawn in the players once. So I think we're going to need to let's double check to make sure it's nowhere else. Oh wait, here's the checking on minigame finished. We'll come back to that. It's like, okay, there's a lot. Oh, it's a debug, thank goodness. Okay, we don't care about the debug script so much. Here is cycling skills, which we're not going to allow. Yeah, so I'll leave those for now. Actually, no, I'm gonna get rid of those. Oops. I really need to put in it's set to false. I just don't want to double it up if it's already somewhere. Man, yeah, this raccoon is launched is like everywhere. So this is checking only for launched players. Actually, I think I might need that one. Okay, I think I hit the... Oh, spoke too soon. Track player's turn. Oh, we're getting deep into this now. This is like patrol AI that I don't use anymore. Okay, let's go back to our game state manager. Because this is where I think we need to set it. Okay, basically once all of your raccoons is exhausted. Actually, I think we can just do it. Yeah, once we call exhausted, we say he's not launched anymore. Yeah, so we'll say exhaust is true, raccoon has launched, equals false. I don't love that it's there and then all this other code runs, just because like in my mind, once they're not launched, nothing should be happening, but there shouldn't be a problem with that. Okay, so let's see what happens. In theory, I should be able to keep, oops, we have a compilation error. Sorry, I have to go back to my regular layout. It's too hard to find things. Oh goodness, I've pissed some things off proper. Ah, all the dead raccoons. We need to change them to exhausted. Now here actually would probably be a good place for find and replace, honestly. Let's see. Wait, I thought it was up here. Oh, here we go. Okay. And then replace with exhausted. There we go. We want to be exact match. Then how do we replace all? So yeah, we're going to trust that there's not weird references to dead raccoons somewhere else. Okay, replace 6. And I presume that it auto saves them after that. Nice. I don't use that feature much. That was funny that we talked about it and then it made sense to use it. All right, let's see how this goes. I'm sure there's gonna be some issues, like probably especially with like mini games and like other systems. Let's go to streaming layout and let's put our game window here and skip that screen because it's too bright. I just saw your suggestion to Fishy for Idle Raccoon. Probably a much more appropriate name. But when I saw Exhausted, it caught my eye and I was like, yes, that's hilarious. And because this is prototype code, I can just do things because it's funny. Okay, so I'm going to launch this dude this way. The only thing that could maybe immediately make this fail is I'm using debug commands to launch, and I was like, I don't need to worry about the debug stuff. Okay, that's a positive note. I don't know if you noticed, but the dotted line showed back up, which is great. Can I then do this? Okay. Promising. Oh, am I stuck in the light? I might be done. Now he is technically stopped. Yeah, the light, we're just gonna assume the light just has like an issue that I need to fix. I want to test longer before I introduce like weird variables like the light system or mini game systems. God, I really need to. I need like a dark mode of that animatic. Weird references to dead raccoons. That feels like a strange album name. My second album, weird references to dead raccoons. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. We're gonna launch through there. And he's gonna get exhausted. Okay, cool. The zoom thing is kind of funky. I don't really know exactly. Oh, actually, I do know exactly why. It's because it's a one-player game right now, and well, no, yeah, it shouldn't zoom back in. Yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll just okay, that worked. Let's see if it lets me keep going. So this is a case where maybe just the buffer is too high. Like he's just gonna crawl, or like I need more friction or something. Because I want him to stop. He's like he's not going to stop. I just need like a little more friction because I tried raising the friction once and it made him not rotate fast enough. Just watching this raccoon. Also, we're totally going to need outer walls because otherwise, if you fall off the map, like, I don't know, I guess you could like respawn like Mario Kart style, like drops you back in, but I don't think I want to like mess with all that. I think I'll just put maybe just even some invisible walls that like, just for now. What's weird is when you say movement decay, like I think it's just an impulse force. Like I think I'm just applying a force at the beginning. I think their friction is just so low that it slides infinitely. Um, but I could add like inverse movement or inverse force until it stops. Let me just try adding like a touch of friction. I forget what what my physics material is. Where are you, physics material? Slidey. I called it slidey, and yeah, there's zero friction. So what if it was like, what's the difference between dynamic friction? Oh yeah, it's a combination, and I think the floor is at 0 and they're at 0. Let's just do like 0.01. That'd be funny. Yeah. When you say Raccoon Reaper, I think of the ski free snow monster. It's just like just runs on screen, like eats the raccoon. Let's see if giving a little bit of friction will make it break. Because if not, then this should solve it, because now there's at least some friction. Okay, let's launch from 3. We will go this way. Yeah, so yeah, see how he's like what? So I don't know. Yeah, there's something about the friction, the way that it was set up, that it just worked well, and then changing that at all like just does crazy things. So we will have to figure something out. I mean, I think adding the walls might be the fastest. It's not like the best permanent solution, but like they'll hit the wall and that should stop them. It seems like if they hit enough things, they eventually lose their will to keep going. So yeah, let's put some cubes. Where are you at, dear cube? There you are. Okay, and then we will zoom out, please. All right, here's gonna be a big old wall. We'll make a couple of you. We'll probably make them invisible. Oops, that's way too far out. Okay, so all of those in. The only thing I don't like is that they can go way out there, but that's fine. We will just make these invisible. Hide their mesh renderer. Okay. Cool. That should solve our problem. Let's do a test. Let's try to launch a raccoon towards an outer wall. Okay, I'm gonna go this way. Oh, perfect test. You gonna hit the wall? Yep. He just says, I'm done. I'm done with this. And then I would want to try to shoot this way. Yeah, that's still kind of a problem though, because yeah, if you're a ways from that wall and you're lined up through a gap, like this is so tedious. You get a dunce cap, shoot a corner. Yeah, I'm gonna have to like over time just add. I don't want to add friction because it messes it up. Because it's all based around like a sphere, and so I think what happens is the sphere starts to roll versus slide. And when it rolls, the whole raccoon like face plants. And so we actually want the object sliding. I guess a fix for that is to change it into a cube. Why did I say cube so weird? A cube. And then that way it can't turn over. Let's see if that is true. Yeah, so he's a sphere. I don't want him to roll. I want him to slide. So we're going to change his collider into a box collider. And then we're going to get rid of... Okay, I do have to make sure that we keep the slidey material. Okay. I'm just going to turn that off. Well, sometimes colliders can be weird. We'll leave it like that. I think it's kind of weird. His tail is kind of like that. So we'll mess with this a little bit. Let's shrink it to actually somewhat representative of what his body looks like. You don't need any raccoon dysmorphia here. You are just a small cube, friend. Okay. Sure. Kind of want to, whatever. That's fine. Let's try this. That may not work at all. Like maybe it is rolling and not, but my expectation is nothing should look different. But we will see. And if this works, then we should be able to add a tiny bit of friction. And now instead of it rolling over, it should just stop. Okay, so let's launch this way. Okay, so far so good. He's going to hit that wall. Cool. Okay, so that just worked. So perfect. Well, now let's try to give it that 0.01 of friction. Let's see if I shoot towards the wall, if he like will run out of momentum before he hits the wall, which would be good. It's more of an issue when they're slow. Like I don't mind them launching across the map so much. I just hate that they like crawl very slowly across the map. And you're like, come on, your turn's over. You're done. Especially if we end up starting to remove a lot of these pegs. Now that it's more mini golf-like. He struggles a little bit on the... That was actually pretty cute. It looks like he chased his own tail. But something is awry because I don't see my angle. So my guess is he's rotated in a weird way. Yeah. Friend, what has happened to you? Oh, he's on his side. Oh no. Oh no. Someone help him. Where's my gizmos? There we go. Rest in peace, friend. All right, I need a photo of our sad, sleepy raccoon. He's fallen and he can't get up. All right, I'm gonna post that in our Discord. Where should I put? I'll put that in game dev. Okay, so I think I can fix this though. I think what we can do is just lock certain rotations. No, he wasn't dead. He was sleeping. I promise. He was ready to go. He's like, launch me. Okay, so we need to go to our raccoon and like lock his rotation on certain axes. Raccoon. And we'll go to. Okay, yeah, so we can freeze rotation. Let's make sure we freeze it on the right angle. So we want to allow Y rotation because that's what that green is. And I can just tell because I just watched the value change in the top right corner. Here is the only weird thing. Because like if we go on like a ramp or something, you almost kind of want them to be able to move. I'm gonna try. Oops, that was weird. Oh no, don't rotate. Different things. Get out of there. Yeah, I'm gonna try locking Z, and I don't know if I want to lock X, but I'm gonna lock Z and X and just see how it goes. So we want to freeze rotation on Z and X. So it should never be able to rotate that way. In fact, if this, we could maybe go back to the sphere if we wanted, which might move up and down slopes better. But let's see if this made a difference. All right, let's go this way. All right. Yeah, the friction is small, which I think is good. I think we want it to be small. I'm trying to like, okay. Interesting. Okay, so I think the frictions problem is solved as far as I can tell. Let's make sure that there's not a line under the map. Yeah, no, so he's ready to roll. He's doing some gain signs with his hands there. But the game doesn't think he is available to launch, so we have to figure out why. If I hit spacebar, oh, he still launches. So maybe it just didn't turn on his visualizer for the angle. Yeah, so I'm still able to set his angle. Let's click into him and see what we got. Oh, he's a little rotated down. Don't like to see that. How did that happen? Let's see. Let's turn back on our gizmos. So yeah, we can see that he's rotated, even though we locked the rotation. How not cool. Yeah, because he's interesting. Wow, yeah, that's weird. I wonder why he would be. Yeah, that's great. He just walking. Why? Oh, handstand. Oh, okay. Yep. There we go. Good stuff. Good stuff. I literally can't get him down just to walk like a normal raccoon. Friend, just, you can do it. I believe in you. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why he rotated. Those are locked. It didn't help. So maybe this whole friction solution is not the best because it's causing other problems. So we need to think about maybe if there's a different way to stop it. I mean, because the problem is if we just add force, we don't know which direction to add it in. I mean, I guess we can get the current. Oh, we can just decrease velocity. I'm stupid. Okay. And we can, yeah, I'm stupid. Let's just go ahead and undo all the stuff that we just did. Let's go back to a sphere collider, just because that's what it was before, and I don't want things to be funky. And then we will remove the box collider. The sphere collider feels like it's in kind of a weird spot there. I'm going to shift it down a little. Well, yeah, I'm going to shift it down a little. Bit closer to his feet. Then maybe shrink its radius and maybe slide it a little forward. Okay. I'm cool with that. Okay, so we fixed that. Now we need to basically just reduce velocity over time. Let's go back to our code. Okay. So we want to just slowly drain its velocity. Let's call it just make it public float. We'll call this like speed decay rate. Okay, so now we have our speed decay rate. We can just do that. Nope. There we go. Why not? Oh, because that's a vector 3. I actually can't think off the top of my head how I would handle that, because that would be, we need to reduce the velocity over time. I'm getting kind of sick of like leveraging GPT so much. So like I'm going to start going back to Google because I'm getting kind of sick of it. Okay, let's do, what was I doing? Oh yeah, decay a vector 3 unity. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry that it's so bright. This is way overkill. I just need to time delta time for a vector 3. Okay, I lied. It's taking too long to find it. Let's go back. Oof, it's so bright. Let me do this for a second. All right, so we just need to, I want to reduce a rigid body velocity over time. Can you show me how that would work? And I have This line is incorrect because I do not know how to do that. Magnitude, that's what it is. Oh, that's weird, though. That's not something I would have. I'm just reading. I know reading's quiet and boring, but it's interesting though. Yeah, it's one minus, and you're multiplying it. That's kind of strange. It's not super intuitive to me, but I'm also awful at math, so I'm gonna have to trust it on that one. Okay, so we are going to be slowing the velocity over time, which should work because we're not continually adding force any longer. So let's see. Where is, because then once it goes past a certain velocity level, it'll become exhausted and then won't be able to run that code block anymore. Okay, now we just want to set the decay rate to something probably pretty small, I would think. Speed decay rate 0.1 or something. Let's just try that. All right, our boy's running. He's not slowing noticeably, so it's kind of a good thing. It means I might need to turn up the decay rate. And so far, it's kind of working. Now, we keep getting this state where it's like the second launch, it doesn't reset. So I need to figure out what is happening here. So what state is he in? I forgot our inspector. Actually, we want hierarchy. Grab the raccoon. And let's look at what. So he's in a has launched state and he's exhausted. So I'm really glad you had me name it exhausted. That's just fun. He is exhausted. This raccoon is exhausted. Okay, so exhaust is true. So this is what's odd. Has launched is true and exhausted is true, which is weird because they are set here. So that means they must be set somewhere else as well. So raccoon has launched being false is not being called. Is exhausted set to true anywhere else? Does not look like it, no. Okay. So then my other guess is has launched is getting set to true, maybe. It could also be something to do with this return, but it should get all the way through this first. And it works once. The first and second turn always work, and then the third turn, not so much. Let's see. We're gonna put a couple prints in here. Just want to see something. So I wonder if somehow we're setting exhausted to true, and then it immediately, I don't know how it would, but immediately breaks out before it can set has launched to false. I don't think that's possible, but the only other thing I can think of is if somewhere else this is being set to true. Oh, where was that? It gets set to true whenever we launch the raccoon. So yeah, so like once he's launched, it should be true, but he should never be exhausted. Is exhausted not getting set to false? Maybe I looked at that wrong. Um, so it's possible that maybe this code block is not getting called. And so exhausted is never. Let's hit run. Let's see if these give us any more information, these prints. It's just weird that it works for 2 full turns. I would get it if it worked for 1 turn and then you couldn't relaunch, but the fact you can relaunch once is and then not a 3rd time is kind of odd. Okay. Oh, I should probably make this smaller and look for our console. Let me switch to Jim's normal layout. Okay, so Z1 and Z2 have been called once. I'm going to clear that. Let's see if the Z's get called again. They do not. Okay. So yeah, so then that, oh, sorry, I didn't change screens on you guys. But yeah, so I just ran it, and the first time we launch, the Z's get printed. The second time it does not. And so I wonder if we're not checking this. So if is exhausted is not getting set to false when we reset the turns, I think. I think that's what it is. So where does that happen? When does a turn get reset? When are we like, hey, all of the raccoons have launched? Is that in game state? I know there's somewhere that we determine like the round is complete. That's all players have stored. And then I think in launch raccoon, here we go. Okay. So we need to set, if this is all players have gone, then we need to do another for each. Out here. It's not the most graceful way to do it, but it's okay. Exhausted equals false. So yeah, once all the players have gone, then we set them no longer to exhausted. What's weird though is I thought somewhere we were setting them to not launched as well. Yeah, where was that being set? Because actually we could probably set it there too. Oh, it was here. Okay. Well, yeah, we can't really do it there. Okay. Let's try this though. I think this should work. All right, we will give us a launch this way, see how the friction works out. No, we may need to raise the friction up. I mean, if without hitting something, he goes and he goes and he goes. All right, let's go this way. Oh, I'm behind the truck. That's not ideal. Okay. Of all the places to see. Is he under the truck? He's fine. He's fine. Everything's fine. Except for the fact that we still have that same bug. That's funny that you can get under the truck though. Why is the bug still happening though? That's what I want to know. I thought that would have fixed it. Okay, so he is he is exhausted and has launched. So if all players have gone, oh, I should hit the light. I don't want not want to hit the light. There could also be some oddities with one player. The game isn't really designed to be a single player game, but there's no reason why I shouldn't be able to have it work for a single player. Oh, okay. Tired. But we're close. We just have this annoying bug. The first one went so fast though, so I guess like this is the karma, right? Because the first thing, where did it go? Yeah, we got rid of gravity. We removed, actually we did that already. We removed spawning every round. Launched raccoons. Actually, we technically did that, so actually we got quite a bit done. But we have this new bug of third launch breaks. Okay. So let's see. Let's track our raccoons stuff. Okay. So he's currently not exhausted, nor has he launched. So we are going to launch him. Maybe we'll go somewhere away from that light. Go away from the light. Do not enter the light. Okay. So he is now exhausted and he has not launched. But we can see here, exhausted is still true. And the problem is, it looks like we are never getting here because this print did not happen. Double checking, but I'm pretty positive it did not. Yeah, it did not. Okay. So that means we are breaking out of here. This is becoming true when it should not be true. It could really be the fact that there's one player, because maybe, because we do set this to false. Maybe we should do this here instead. Instead of out here. Don't know the repercussions of that, but let's try it. I kind of like that more. That's after every raccoon is launched. But let's see how it goes. All right, we're gonna launch him. Let's watch him in the hierarchy and track his stats so he's not launched or exhausted. We're gonna launch him, which sets to launched to true, and then pretty soon exhausted will be set to true. They will both be true, and then in a moment it'll say, hey, everyone's gone, and now they're both false. I like that. That's encouraging. Launching again. Okay, now we're getting some odd stuff. It's like killing it way too quick. Okay, so he's not launched and he's not exhausted. So I shoot him, but he instantly becomes exhausted, like immediately. Man, okay. No, actually, I might know what's doing that. Because what's happening is he is not exhausted, nor has he launched. So if he hasn't launched, we shouldn't be checking this. I guess I could watch for those Z's, actually. Let me try that. I'm sorry for all the raccoon violence on today's episode. He becomes very sleepy after I shoot him. He's just really tired, guys. He's exhausted. Let him rest. All right. Such an annoying bug. All right. Though I guess most bugs are pretty annoying. All right, so we should get the Z prints here in a minute. All right. Interesting. Only Z1. Oh, because I put it as Z1. Yeah, okay. All right. So at this point, he is, what is his state? He has not launched, which is correct, and he is not exhausted. Both of those are correct. And since he is not launched, we should not be tracking the velocity. Oh, okay. I think I might know what it could be. There is this time going slow. There's like a delay, time of life. That's what we need to reset. I'm pretty sure that's it, because basically like the moment you launch, you're at zero velocity for like a fraction of a moment. And I think that might be potentially the problem. Let's see, where's time of life increasing? Right there. And that increases if you have launched, if it's true. But we are not resetting it anywhere, I don't think. So we should just go ahead and reset that. I guess we can try resetting it in here. I think that might be okay. 0. All right, we'll see if that was it. I'm not 100% positive, but basically we just, this time of life value, we're trying to see if that was a problem. Okie dokie. Let's go somewhere safe like here. Launch a dude. Cool. All looks normal, but it always does at this point. Back to Raccoon. Looking at the inspector, everything is as expected. Raccoon is not launched. He is not exhausted. we're gonna launch. He instantly. What is going on? I thought he's. Oh my gosh. What is he doing? Okay. What am I missing here? Like, why would he be just rolling around? Okay. Something weird's going on. This might be one of those. Let's try it when I'm not tired and see if I can figure out what the problem is. But let's see. Okay, so we need to fix this. Oh, you can't see what I'm looking at. We need to fix this, the third launch break. Launching 360 isn't too tough, but kind of useless if we can't go again. Come back to that. It also didn't feel super necessary. I was never like, oh, I want to turn fully around, so maybe we don't need to do a full 360. Lights, that's not very important. Letting player choose force, I think will become important. So then really all we need to do is fix this bug. All right, I'm gonna try a couple more stabs at it. I'm not stabbing raccoons, to be clear. I'm stabbing bugs. All right, let's see if we can get this. That last one was weird because he was like rolling around, which is like a new problem. Roach actually is a pretty good idea, but it would have to be like a huge roach. Maybe be like a swarm of roaches. You get like just like a group that are about the size of a raccoon because there's a bunch of roaches. That would actually be pretty cool. I want that. I'm writing it down. Roach swarm. I like that. And then like the little avatar, like the face, the 2D version would be like just one of the roaches, like their leader. But yeah, that's fun. I'm actually pretty excited for like different characters besides just the raccoon. Just not in like real life. No swarm of roaches in real life. Okay. Why are you broken? Stop being broken. All right, let me try to look through this. No office warming presents that are inspired by Trash Heist. It's either gross and trashy or things are stolen. Neither one is positive. I've given you the gift of a wild raccoon released into your office. You're welcome. Okay. So let's think through what are the symptoms. So when we launch, let me actually just redo it again to get a sense of that. It seems, actually, I just remembered. It seems like it's immediately setting it to exhausted. The way it determines if it's exhausted is if the velocity, the time going slow is over the velocity check time. So we need to probably set time going slow back to 0 as well. Let's try that. I'm a little concerned about that weird, like, he's going to act like a weird roly ball all of a sudden. That was a weird bug that I'm hoping that just kind of goes away. Because that seems like it shouldn't have happened, but sometimes weird things happen when, like, bugs waterfall into each other. A waterfall of bugs. All right, let's go here. Launch. All right, first shot always works for some reason. That one is never problematic. Now we're launching number 2. Okay. So far, so good. Raccoon is launched. He is now exhausted. I think that was it. And that actually kind of makes sense because the time going slow builds up over time. It was never reset. So that's why like the first 2 shots just didn't have enough time to like reduce it. But now it seems like we have fixed things. Okay, use your friction, buddy. Use your friction. Look at that. It worked. Well, technically it's not friction. It's just the velocity being reduced over time, but potato. We fixed it even though we're retired. That is success. Honestly, this is pretty fun. Like I like relaunching the same raccoon. Like weirdly a lot more. Like yeah. Because I guess it feels a lot more exploratory. It feels like I'm navigating through the environment versus like I'm just playing an arcade game. Yeah, sense of self, totally. And I think if once we add in the different classes, like with like the instead of just different colored raccoons, I think that will also add a lot of that as well. It's like, oh, I am the cockroach character, and like could be fun. Ooh, I'm at the door. I'm gonna break in. Yeah. Oh, damn. Just bounced off it. Unsatisfying. Oh no. Okay, so the door messed me up. I am at a weird angle again. And it's like pretty important to be able to see the line. Let's see if I launch, if it'll correct itself. I think it did. Well, I guess we'll see when the next turn comes up. No, he's like permanently rotated down now. Bruh, why are you like this? It's so weird because I feel like that never really happened before. Oh, well, also we didn't keep relaunching the same raccoon. So, I mean, the good news is like he's still functional, but the rotation, I wonder if I just reset the rotation okay, he fixed himself. I could probably just reset the rotation though. You locked your Z, and I think your collision might have a change in Z. But if I locked it, shouldn't it have not changed? Wow, that was hard to say. Shouldn't it have not changed? Like by locking it, he's so cute when he like walks slow. So we have these like little inverse kinematic feet. You can't really tell when he's going fast, but when they go slow, you can like see him walking around, which is fun. Oh, we should totally do the like duck feet on the ground for their running. That would be really cute. Okay. Yeah, I'm actually like this is a good sign because like I'm just having fun like launching him through the environment, even though like I don't have an objective right now. Like I'm just enjoying this. So that's a really good sign. Because like even if you don't know what you need to do, it's just kind of fun to move around. Okay, so here's an example where maybe having more. Well, no, I found a way out. Kind of. I was gonna say I need more rotation options. Here I'm against a box. Let's see if I can just go. I can escape. Yeah, so I can go there. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to give people a bigger angle. Maybe not a full 360. Let's just give them a little more. And that should be an exposed value, so that's cool. Let's also just like get rid of our prints here and hide the shame that there was a bug. Yeah, it's fine. There's never a bug there, guys. It's totally cool. I use line breaks like a real developer. Print logs, are you crazy? Of course not. I'm a little worried about the rotation that I never fixed. It kind of corrected itself after a few shots. So I'm going to leave it alone for now. And we can, if testing everyone likes this, then we can improve it when we do like the code refactor. Okay, we were changing the rotation options. We can do it through debug, but well, actually, maybe it is on the raccoon. Let me double check. I think it's not, though. I think it's in the actual the UI. So basically the mobile version, which is a different repo, and I don't want to pull it right now. Where Where are you, raccoon? Prefab. Okay. Let's see if there is a rotation setting. Max time. There's a launch angle of launch. Nah, it doesn't look like it's on here. So yeah, I could end up changing the debug, but ultimately I would have to change it again for the actual game. So, and it didn't seem like impossibly problematic. It seemed like a slight improvement if you could angle yourself more behind. But I feel like if you slam yourself into a corner or a wall, then like it's kind of your own fault. And then like maybe it takes you 2 shots to get out of that corner instead of 1. For now. And then we can, like I said, if people like this, we can change that later. Cool. Well, in that case, I think it's kind of set. We have to change, we have to like test it with multiple players, of course. And we have to let players choose how hard they want to launch the raccoon. But yeah, I think the core is there. So I think it's a good pausing point for the night. Excited to, I don't think, oh, that's right. So we have a closed external playtest tomorrow. There's a team that we're working with to that's focusing more on the marketing side of the game. And so they're going to give us some feedback tomorrow. And I was thinking about sending them a new build with this. My only concern is I didn't get to test it with a lot of, I didn't get to test it much. So don't know if it's a great idea to send this version. But either way, this is a good spot to stop the stream. Appreciate everyone hanging out. It was great to kind of be back and stream again and be able to chat with y'all. So